We are live.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Dhwani is the host. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Divya Singhal Chandra, and I'm a volunteer and a member of the ICAI New England. And on behalf of the entire team, I welcome you to today's inauguration event. Today, we have amongst us the current ICAI President, CA Atul Gupta, the current ICAI Vice President, CA Jambu Saria, Consul General Sri Jaiswal, past President, CA Bhupati, overseas chapter leaders, panelists, and all of you esteemed members. And I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today. Remembering Mahatma Gandhi's words, the future depends on what you do today. And today marks the inauguration of the 38th International and the 4th US chapter of the Institute globally. As ICAI expands its footprint and grows from strength to strength, rest assured that our institute and chartered accountants worldwide are poised to scale even greater heights. We have a power-packed program for you today, lined with speakers and accomplished leaders from India and the US. So without any further ado, let me call upon our first speaker, one of our founding members and a director of ICAI New England, CA Mark Chokalingam. So with that, I invite Mark to take over, please. Thanks.
Thank you, Geeta. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the inaugural festivities. My name is Mark Chokalingam. I am proud to be on the board of the first board of the New England chapter. Professionally, I am the president of Altitude, a consulting boutique that specializes in supply chain management based in the Boston area. So just going back in terms of memories, Vish Arunachan reached out to me from San Francisco last May about starting an RO, potentially a chapter down the road. I wasn't sure. I wasn't confident how many CAs were in the area. I had contacted CA Vidya Rajagopalan and then Dhwani Doshi to the RO. And we were 3 last June. And now we are 150 plus members in the RO. And potentially we have 200 plus chartered accountants in the area. I'm excited to be part of this memorable occasion to inaugurate our chapter. The chapter has a very strong team of leaders, Sanjay Agarwal being the chair, Dhwani as the vice chair, Balaji as treasurer, and Banu as secretary. The New England chapter has many accomplished CAs with illustrious careers as corporate executives, entrepreneurs, and academics. And one of our celebrated academics is with us as a panelist today, Dr. B.G. Narayanan. I look forward to helping our members connect with other business professionals to grow their careers. As a senior member of the Institute, I am open to providing mentorship and career guidance to the younger chartered accountants. Finally, I want to thank Vish and Geeta and the team of ICAI San Francisco chapter, which deserves a lot of credit in taking this initiative and providing guidance and assistance in our quest to become a chapter in New England. Now, with that, I invite the president of the San Francisco chapter, Geeta Ramakrishnan, to say a few words of greetings.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning to our very special guest, His Excellency Ranveer Jaswal, CGI, New York, CA Mahavir Singh VG, CA Professor V.G. Narayan, Ms. Shuchita Sanaklia from the CII, Anu Chitrapu from TI Boston, Ms. Neelima Padgaonkar from the US India Business Council, and of course, everybody assembled here. It is the season for historic inaugurations. America has itself a new president, and we have ourselves a sparkling new jewel, ICAI New England. A sparkling new jewel in what has been a pretty good year for ICAI here in the US. Under the leadership of President President Atul Kumar Gupta ji and Vice President Jambusaria ji, we've grown from 1 to 4 chapter offices, 8 rep offices, in a blitzkrieg of growth. New England, as you said earlier, you're going to be the 38th global chapter, but you also join 165 branches and 28 other ROs, serving 310,000 chartered accountants, 4,000 of whom are right here in the United States. So the question to be asked is, what do we do as so many ROs in chapters and nodal offices? Well, e pluribus unum. Now, that is the motto of the United States, but it could very well be our creed. Because everything you do at your chapter your achievements at one location benefit and impact us all. And we invite members at every location to plug into this formidable network and take advantage of everything that it has to offer. The knowledge sharing, the professional development, the mentoring, the opportunities, the social engagement, and just the warmth of the knowledge that no matter where in the world you find yourself, you'll never be too far away from an ICAI, from the welcoming hand of ICAI. But beyond all of this, there are some overarching initiatives that we hope to achieve in the US. The first one being MRA, or the Mutual Recognition Agreement, whereby an Indian chartered accountant is granted automatic recognition for the purposes of work or for the purposes of higher education. Executive education, where we want to connect the great universities of the United States with the ICAI and chartered accountants. You, ICAI New England, have taken the lead on this, and you have already walked significantly down that line, so thank you. We'd like to build a comprehensive and connected database. As one of the speakers ahead of me just said, chartered accountants are everywhere, whether by breadth or by how far they've reached. We're obviously CAOs and CFOs and CEOs, but also entrepreneurs and diplomats and politicians and writers and influencers of every stripe. So what we want is for all of us to know each other and take advantages of the strengths that we bring. But now, coming back to you, ICAI New England, you've blown the rest of us away in how much you've achieved within this short span of time, whether it be your, professional development programming, your career fairs, your career panels, the fact that you've grown, the energy with which you've grown, 150 members, the leadership that you've shown on so many initiatives. We have no doubts that you're going to achieve spectacular things. So on behalf of all of us here in the US, the chapters and the ROs and all the members, and indeed everybody across the world, we want to tell you that we're in your corner, we're rooting for you, and we wish you every success. Good luck and Godspeed. Thank you.
Thank you, CA Geeta. Thank you for your kind wishes and also the tremendous support that ICA San Francisco has been providing to us. We also thank you for highlighting all the work of the different US chapters. With that, now I would like to invite the ICAI Vice President, CA Nihar Jambusarya ji, very well known by professional. CA Jambusarya is a man of vision and strong organizational skills. He's truly dedicated to achieving an all-round and inclusive growth of the Indian chartered accountancy profession. So now I invite CA Jambusarya ji to take over the virtual podium, please. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Divya. Good morning, everybody. Wish all of you a very happy 2021. And we are happy that US has a new president now. And I'm sure that under his presidency, India-US relations will further improve and prosper. His Excellency Shri Randhir Jaiswal, Honorable President of the Institute, C. Atul Gupta, CA Geeta and Vish, Sanjay and Dhwani, Chair and Vice Chair of the New England chapter, which is being inaugurated now. I may call it chapter before even inauguration. Mark, Narayanan, Anu, Divya, Nilima, Suchita, and everybody who is present here. In fact, it's a matter of great pleasure that during pandemic time, the dynamic president of the institute took the initiative that let us have as many chapters as possible in US, expand our footprints, and create a win-win situation for everybody. That is chartered accountants in US, chartered accountants in India, even the relations between the professionals in India and US. So it is a win-win situation for everybody. This initiative was started in July. And now in January end, in just 6.5 months, the 5 representative offices which were set up are now one after the other becoming chapters. Houston has already become chapter. New England region is becoming now today. Chicago and Washington are just ready to be chapters, and Dallas will follow the suit very soon. And with this, and where our friend, philosopher, and guide, CM Mahavir Singhviji, who has cooperated so well, and with the foreign secretary, he took up the matter and got us the equivalent status with other institutions, which will also benefit all these chapters in carrying out the activities of the chapters. Particularly, I think now you will realize that even you were not aware how many chartered accountants are there in US. And now for making this chapter, when you started contacting them and got this number of 100 plus, you can realize what Indian chartered accountants in US can do. It will help India also. It will help all those who want to migrate from India to US, those chartered accountants, particularly the newly qualified chartered accountants. And it will also help US chartered accountants in terms of relations with ICAI, the backup support that they may need, and in carrying on the activities. On this occasion, I wish that all these chapters which are being newly inaugurated will become very effective chapters, and they will demonstrate that they are ready to take full advantage of the presence of this chapter in their area. With this, I wish you all a very good time there with the chapter. I'm sure you will do the networking very well, interact with each other, and we will also be in touch with you in future as well. And let us see if we are able to open further chapters, then we are all with you. And for the prosperity of these chapters, whatever you need, we are there at your beck and call, and we will work together. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, C.A. Jambusaryaji, for your words of encouragement to our team, and also for sharing how the different ICAI chapters globally can work together and work towards excelling the profession. We look forward to working with you in 2021. Now, it is my honor to invite ICAI President C.A. Atul Gupta ji to share his thoughts on the profession and the overseas chapters. As many of you know, C.A. Gupta is a strong supporter of putting the Indian accountancy profession on the global map. He has passionately represented the profession on various international fora through a number of meetings and conferences, and has been making an impeccable impact thereat. So with that, I want to invite C.A. Atul Gupta ji to take over, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Divya. And at the outset, I congratulate each one of the colleagues from the New England chapter, the Honorable Vice President ICAI, C.A. Nihar Niranjan Jambusaryaji, my colleague in the council who is right now with me at one of the visit to the particular branch in India, C.A. Pramod Jainji. We have our own the director and the chairman of the New England chapter, C.A. Mark, Madam Divya, the Sanjay Agarwal, Dhavnit Doshi and other colleagues, His Excellency Shri Randhir Jaiswal ji, the guest of honor, who is the Honorary Consul General of India at the New York, USA, our own and very distinguished personality of the profession. I used to call like we should giving a Bharat Ratan for of ICAI at least to Shri C.A. Mahavir Singhvi ji, our from the Ministry of External Affairs, the Joint Secretary, who is actually the man behind this entire initiative of the ICAI at the Global Forum, and all other my viewers. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening as per your time to all of you. For us, it's around 9 p.m. in India, and likewise the other time zones. As being discussed by Mark, starting with Mark and then Geeta ji and Honorable Vice President mentioned that the ICAI today, with a membership strength of around 390,000 members and with the 800,000 students, wherein more than 40,000 members are today located in more than 100 countries, and specifically the 4,000 members in USA, which is actually even the more than 1% of the total strength of the profession, is actually a symbol of, or I will say, the testimony of the strength and the skills the chartered accountant have to serve not only the various stakeholders at the Indian jurisdiction, but at the global jurisdiction. And that is something we can witness when we have with us the V.G. Narayanan, who is the professor with the Harvard University. We have the other colleagues who are at the one or the other organization at the helm of affairs. Friends, as being rightly discussed, that the ICAI, being a profession which is globally recognized, today have the official presence available, which is being recognized by the Ministry of External Affairs at the 43 countries of the world with the 64 cities. The initiation, which was started way back on the 1st of January 2020, we were there in the 29 countries with 34 chapters. But I'm happy to announce you today that with all the supports received from the Ministry of External Affairs, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and our colleagues in the embassies and all the chartered accountants who are at the different jurisdiction, today ICAI, with this 38th chapter, which is getting inaugurated today, is now having the 38 chapters and the 25 representative office, making the ICAI presence in the 63 cities of the world. The chartered accountants, who are, because of their rigorous evaluation system and the training, are actually a very strong pillar of every economy made with the India or the USA. They are the important constituent of every jurisdiction because of their special skill sets which they possess, because of their hard work and the holistic understanding of the issues. I used to say the chartered accountants are moved from the ASP, that is the assurance service provider, to actually a BSP, that is the business solution providers. And having that kind of a skill set, today we are inaugurating the 38th chapter of the ICAI and this New England, wherein I congratulate the Sanjay ji and all the colleagues who are the instrumental in this momentous occasion for the entire profession for bringing the new glory. I also convey my sincere thanks to Vish and Geeta for putting all the supports when we started the first ever chapter in the USA at the San Francisco. Today we are achieving one or after one the new milestone and the official presence of the ICAI. Friends, you will also agree with me that having the official presence not only offer a chance to collaborate between the members who are there, but also participate in the various economic activities. May it be the more and more investment flowing, from one jurisdiction to the other, having the more and more opportunities for the export of the various activities, including the CA services, wherein I believe that the cooperation from the Suchita ji, from the CII and other colleagues will be very, very instrumental. There are the number of studies which are being conducted by the ICAI to see that what are the global best practices as far as the ease of doing business is concerned or anything else is there. And I believe that when today we will collaborate with each other, there will be the best inculcation of the practices which will further offer a more and more investment environment in our country. Even the chartered accountants are playing a very, very important role at the USA economy as well. I'm aware that there are a number of chartered accountants who are at the helm of affairs in the one or the other organization. Recently, Vish told me that one of the colleagues is the CFO of the GM Motors. The Harvard University, the dean of our Harvard University is again a chartered accountant. So when the chartered accountants are playing a very, very important role in the development of the various jurisdictions, including the USA, I believe that they are the catalyst of a new height of the bilateral relationship between the two jurisdictions, and they are actually the facilitator to have that kind of a relationship between the two countries. I congratulate once again the New England chapter for being the 38th chapter of the ICAI, and I believe under the dynamic leadership of the colleagues from the New England chapter, there will be more collaborative efforts made with the MRA, made with the new skill development programs, or the initiative in relation to the new bilateral relationship between the two countries. I also thanks Mahavir Singhvi ji and His Excellency for sparing their valuable time and part of this glorious, momentous occasion and the historical occasion for the profession at large. Thank you very much. And once again, best wishes from my side.
Thank you, C.A. Gupta ji. We thank you for your vision to expand the reach of ICAI globally, and also the passion with which you've highlighted the changing role of chartered accountants, and especially your use of the words that we're moving from assurance service providers to business solution providers is a pivotal one to note. So thank you very much for all that you've done for us globally. Now we turn to CA Mahavir Singhvi ji. He is our fellow chartered accountant, a diplomat, an IFS, a joint secretary, Director General at the Ministry of External Affairs, in charge of India's counter-terrorism cooperation bilaterally and at multilateral international fora. He is also an Oxford alumnus and an active member of ICAI International Affairs Committee. He was recognized by ICAI the past week for exemplary contribution and professional excellence, an achiever in public services. So many congratulations on this recognition. And with this, I hand over to you, C.A. Singhvi ji.
Thank you, Divya. Consul General of India, Sri Randeep Jaiswal ji, my good friend C.A. Atul Kumar Gupta, ICAI President, ICAI Vice President C.A. Nihar Jambusaria ji, leadership of the New England chapter of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Ms. Arunachalam ji, Geeta Ramakrishnan ji, and other colleagues, friends, and distinguished guest speakers who have joined today. At the outset, let me congratulate the New England chapter, which is the 38th international chapter and the 4th in the US, for their achievement in starting this new chapter. I think this is a momentous occasion for the Institute to have its presence expanded in the United States of America. as CA Atul Kumar Gupta ji pointed out, expanding the horizons of ICAI across the world is something which was discussed in the International Affairs Committee, and I would say it is the vision of the present leadership of ICAI, Atul Gupta ji and CA Niyar Jambusaria ji. In fact, they thought that it's appropriate to continue with this initiative and to expand ICAI chapters across the world and make ICAI's presence felt across the world. I think this is very, very important. We have almost 50,000 members in different countries, and it's important to harness their presence. And it's always important to have networking among each other and benefit from the synergies which can be created out of the vast network of chartered accountants which are situated across the world, 50,000 outside India and 3 lakh in India, along with that very strong, student, I think, community, which is more than 8 lakhs in India. So I think CA Institute has its unique distinction that way. I don't think any other institute has that kind of an alumni network, which is well documented, and also, the kind of excellence, the professional excellence, which is being imparted to chartered accountants. I think no other institute, perhaps, at least to my knowledge, is there in India, which has that kind of, profile and presence. So there is a lot of expectation from the chartered accountants within India, outside India. You have a great role in nation building, be it here in India or anywhere. I would say CAs are, I think, known as ambassadors of any country's economy. Chartered accountants, they are they know the pulse of the economy, and they actually contribute in making, the various schemes of the industry and the industry and companies functioning in a proper manner. So I think their signatures are valued, very valuable. They have the trust of the people. I think chartered accountants have a unique role in the society. So I think you have a very, very important role to play. And as Atul Kumar Gupta ji pointed out, that Ministry of External Affairs has recognized that institutes, chapters outside India would be treated at par with the apex industry organizations like CII and FICCI and other such organizations. I think this is a great opportunity in terms of the kind of access it would offer to you. It's also a responsibility in the sense that it's not just that you have been recognized and that is enough. I think there is a lot of expectations from you. I have Consul General of India, of course, he would point out what is the kind of expectation which are there from you. But I would say that you have a great role to play in the realization of the vision of Prime Minister of India, particularly the Atmanirbhar Bharat. And in terms of contributing here, both investment, facilitating mergers and acquisitions, bringing technology, all those things are there. Basically, you have a very, very important role to play in this aspect. I would suggest you that you collaborate with our embassies and consulates in coming out with various programs, organizing various seminars, workshops, where you can disseminate the knowledge about India and try and influence in whatever way you can the local investors over there to come to India, to set up industries here and to expand business with both the countries. India and US have very close relationship. The relationship is ever strengthening and growing in stature. 2020 has been particularly very good year despite the pandemic. It has been a very good year for India-US relationship. The ties have been elevated to the comprehensive global strategic partnership during the visit of the former President of United States of India, Mr. Donald Trump in February 2020. So there is also a mutual interest in rebuilding global economy and diversifying global supply chains, particularly after the pandemic. So there are a lot of opportunities which are available there. And I hope that with a very vast network over there, you would be able to contribute in this goal. I think, as you know, that US is one of the, in fact, the largest trading partner of India in terms of goods and services. So there is a lot of scope in, particularly on the economic relationship side. I think that kind of, the bilateral relationship which is there, I think with your presence all over the United States, you can certainly contribute more to strengthening this kind of a relationship. So I wish you all the very best once again and congratulate you on this momentous occasion of opening of the New England chapter. I heard that 3 other chapters are in the pipeline, and I think with their opening very soon, you will have a very solid and sizable presence across United States. So, and I would urge you to leverage that to your advantage. Try and see what you can contribute not only to your network and your professional competence and your professional excellence, but also in the India-US bilateral relationship. Thank you very much for inviting me and wish you once again all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you, CA Mahavir Singhvi. Your remarks on how CAs contribute to nation building is an important one to acknowledge. And thank you also for laying out the roadmap to how we can collaborate with various international associations and organizations. And we certainly look forward to your guidance on a continued basis. So thank you very much. With now, I would like to move on we have our guest of honor, His Excellency Shri Randhir Jaiswal, the Consul General of India in New York, with us. He assumed his office in the middle of the current pandemic in July 2020 and hit the ground running from day one. CG Jaiswal is a career diplomat. He joined the Indian Foreign Service in 1998 and has had an illustrious career serving India. In addition to his work at the Ministry of External Affairs, he has served in Portugal, Cuba, South Africa, and at the Permanent Mission of India in New York. CG Jaiswal is passionate about sports, the environment, culture, old cities, and cuisines. And we definitely hope to host him someday in New England to showcase our rich history. So before I hand it over to CG Jaiswal, I want to thank Mr. Devi Prasad Mishra and his team who helped us in getting the event on CG's calendar and proactively collaborated with us. So with that, I invite His Excellency Shri Randhir Jaiswal to say a few words, please.
Well, good morning, everybody here in the United States, and good evening, our dear friends in India. A very warm namaste to all of you. President of ICAI, Mr. Atul Kumar Gupta, my dear colleague, Mr. Mahavir Singhvi, all our distinguished chartered accountants and friends, stakeholders, I'm delighted that we are here together to inaugurate this new chapter of ICAI of New England region. As you all know, we have a very expansive economic partnership with the New England region, New England and India. And with the opening of this new office, I'm sure this partnership is going to see many more new milestones. I'm so very happy and delighted that in the last several months, ICAI has expanded its presence outside. We've seen new offices opened in the United States. And with this new addition, a new chapter in New England region, it is yet another feather in ICAI's cap. India-US relationship is a very important partnership. In this partnership, the economic collaboration, economic cooperation, trade and investment collaboration is very important. We have a new administration here in the United States, and we look forward to strengthening, deepening this partnership more and more in the days to come. We are living in times of the pandemic. In India, we are focused on dealing with the challenges of the pandemic. At the same time, we are focused to give a boost to our economy. In the last several months, we have announced a slew of reforms in the food processing sector, space sector, civil aviation sector, financial services sector, and several other segments of our economy. This has got our stakeholders here in the United States energized. We look forward to collaborating with all of them in the various fields that we opened up. We also want to collaborate and enhance our engagement in the health segment. We have several initiatives on the vaccines between the two countries going forward. In India, recently we started our own vaccination program on 16th of January. By summer of this year, we hope to vaccinate around 300 million people. But what is greater import and honor and privilege for us is that we have shared our vaccines with countries in the region as a gesture of a friendship and to others. This is in line with our thought and action and a belief in the age-old maxim of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is, the world is one family. We look forward to collaborating with ICAI to enhance our engagement, and I look forward to all your support in this endeavor. I wish you the very best in this new beginning, in this new life here in the New England region. The consulate is there to collaborate, to support you, and you can count on us for all your initiatives and for all your efforts. And I look forward to meeting several of you when I'm in Boston next. Thank you very much. All the very best.
Thank you, CG. Thank you for sharing the various initiatives and aspirations for the India-US collaboration, both in the areas of the economy and also how India is sharing vaccine capabilities with the world. We look forward to working with you over the coming years and definitely host you in Boston sometime. Thank you. With that, our chapter is officially inaugurated. So let's now turn to the virtual lamp lighting ceremony. Dhani, if you could please play the video. Thank you.
य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रम् तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनाद्यति कश्चन एतद्द्वैता
Thank you. Now let me hand over the mic to Sanjay Agarwal, the chair of our chapter. Please take it away, Sanjay.
Thank you, Divya. And thank you to ICAI President, CA Gupta, ICAI Vice President, CA Jambasaria, Joint Secretary, CA Singhvi, Vice President, CA Bhupati, who's joining us today, chapter leaders from around the world, Mark, Geeta, and my professional colleagues for joining the discussion today. And a very special thank you to His Excellency, Consul General Jaswal, for taking time from his busy schedule on a Sunday. Friends, we have heard it clearly from all our esteemed guests, the enormous responsibility that we have as chartered accountants in the US-India bilateral relationship. We sure hope to do our part in the New England chapter. I am humbled and honored by the opportunity to be the founding chair of the New England chapter. As we kick off our journey, I am reminded of a key lesson from my favorite game show host, Alex Trebek of Jeopardy, that sometimes questions are more important than the answers. And I can't think of a professional group that's better trained in the art of asking the insightful questions than my fellow chartered accountants. Our training in analysis and attention to detail are the guiding principles that have led us to build a global brand for the CA certification. Now, let me take a couple of minutes to share the vision that our managing committee has laid out for the New England chapter. Our first and foremost goal is to build operational processes and capability of our chapter in the first year. We also hope to build a strong membership base, provide them opportunities to network, develop their professional skills and capabilities and career opportunities. And one of our key objectives is to ensure, as many have said, that we are not building the chapter in a silo. So we are very focused on connecting with our organizations that work in the US-India bilateral corridor. And you will see that reflected in the panel discussion that our vice chair will lead in a few minutes. In conclusion, I am proud of the accomplishments of my fellow chartered accountants on this call in the New England area and around the world. My managing committee team and I share a passion to connect with fellow professionals to help us all grow and build our networks. I am looking forward to building the New England chapter together. With that, let me hand over the meeting to one of our founding members, tireless leader and vice chair of the New England chapter, CA Dhwani Doshi, who will present a video introduction of our managing committee and moderate the guest panel. Dhwani, over to you.
Thank you, Sanjay, for this kind introduction. I'm honored, thankful, and glad to be part of the founding team and representing your vice chair. Wanted to take time to thank all the guests for their kind wishes and your support throughout our journey so far. In the past 6 months, it was easy for me to reconnect with the CA fraternity through numerous shared stories on the rigor of the CA curriculum, anecdotal experiences from articleship days, and the level of trust the profession has maintained. The conversations that hit home were early challenges to settle in this country, career setbacks due to lack of recognition of the CA certification, and navigating through the work culture. The conversations brought up a strong desire to support each other, to bridge the cultural gap, help with the learning curve, and the need to advance the CA brand. These common themes energized us, my team, to advance this ICAI New England platform. On our journey to being a chapter, many of our CAs early in their career have already seen the benefits of the power of tapping into those that have walked the steps before, such as focused interactions on knowledge share, guidance for career transitions, jobs, and business referrals. This is just the beginning. We are yet to tap into the power of this platform, leverage knowledge powerhouses and business industry verticals within our group to help our members grow as leaders. Through a shared commitment, I truly hope that we can increase contribution to the communities we live in, engage with the regional and global professional organizations to advance mutual professional interests, and provide more visibility for the CA brand in the New England region. A big thank you to Vish Arunachalam, Sudha Michael, and Geeta Ramakrishnan, our colleagues from San Francisco, and Shiv Guptaji and Mudit Vashishtaji from Team ICAI International Affairs. We couldn't have done without your unfettered support. You've already met our managing committee chair, Sanjay, and myself. Now please meet the rest of our colleagues through this introduction video. Thank you.
ICAI New England team. I am Balaji Sivakumaran, Treasurer and part of the ICAI New England Managing Committee. First of all, I would like to congratulate the ICAI New England team on the
Sorry, I'm going to start this again.
Annie, I think you need to share your screen, please.
Yeah, just one second. Yeah, I think I need to start this again.
ICAI New England team. I am Balaji Sivakumaran, Treasurer and part of the ICAI New England Managing Committee. First of all, I would like to congratulate the ICAI New England team on the inauguration of the chapter today. My key expectation from the chapter is to continue building networking opportunities, knowledge sharing, mentoring, and continue professional development. As part of the managing committee, I look forward to establishing, contributing towards the various goals and objectives which we set out in this year, in 2021. During the past year, it has given me immense pleasure to connect with professional colleagues from the fraternity via the ICAI New England Representative Office. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Banu Suryadevara, a fellow management committee member of the New England chapter. Becoming a chartered accountant is such an important accomplishment in our career, one that we're all so proud of. I'm so happy that I'm able to connect with so many fellow chartered accountants, and in the past few months since we started on this journey, we are now a vibrant community, and here we are celebrating the launch of the chapter. I look forward to contributing to the mission of the chapter and fostering great professional and personal relationships amongst all the peers across the New England region, the wider ICA team in United States, and the global CA community as well. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Divya Singhal Chandra and I am honored to be a part of the managing committee of ICAI New England. Over the past 6 months since the formation of the representative office, I have worked with the very talented and hardworking team, and together we have pulled so many chartered accountants in the New England region and organized events and provided a networking platform. So today, as we inaugurate into a chapter, I can't be more delighted, and I want to extend my congratulations to all of you. Going ahead, I look forward to your continued participation and support in the activities of this chapter, as collectively we all contribute to the richness, and I'm sure that it'll be a worthwhile association for all of us. So thank you and see you all soon.
Hi, my name is Mark Chokalingam. I finished my CA in the late 80s and moved to the US to get my PhD in financial economics. Professionally, I am the president of Valtitude, a consulting boutique based in Boston that specializes in the field of supply chain management and operations analytics. I may have to claim I am member number 1 of the ICAI New England chapter. I am excited to be part of this memorable occasion to inaugurate an ICAI chapter in our area of the United States. I expect the chapter to be a great forum for all Indian chartered accountants to connect with other business professionals and industry executives and provide opportunities for professional networking and career development. I look forward to meeting you all in person once the pandemic is over. Good luck. Thank you.
Hello friends, I'm Tejal Sangvi, a director at the ICAI New England chapter. I'm a CA CPA who's passionate about helping people. I work primarily in the tax, compliance and planning area. At ICAI New England, we are a volunteer-led organization, and each of the members and volunteers bring a very unique set of strengths to the group. We hope that this chapter will provide a platform for networking and professional development for the CA community in this region. The support of the members is key to the success of this chapter, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the members and the volunteers for their support. I'm honored to welcome you, and I look forward to having a great celebration today. Thank you.
Dhwani, you are on mute.
Unmute.
Right. Okay, I'm back. Right. I've witnessed the dedication of my colleagues on the managing committee over the past 6 months. I'm amazed at what we've accomplished together and excited for the plans we have in store for future. So thank you, everyone. Right. So we will now move to our panel discussion with our esteemed guests. The theme for this discussion is ICAI New England, advancing the CA brand of trusted and innovative global leaders. So I will be moderating this discussion. Please note that the comments by the panelists are their own. These comments do not represent the views of ICAI, the New England chapter, or its volunteers. At the end of the panel, we hope you will get useful advice and leave with a sense of how to engage with our chapter and organizations that our panelists represent. Our panel today represents leaders from some of the most important pillars in the US-India bilateral relationship. I will now introduce each one of the panelists briefly. First, we have CA VG Narayanan. VG is the Thomas T. Kesserly Jr. Professor of Business Administration at the Harvard Business School, the preeminent educational institution in the world, where he also chairs the MBA elective curriculum. VG is a qualified chartered accountant from India, received his MBA from the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and has a PhD in accounting from the Stanford University. Welcome, VG. Next, we have Nilima Prakalkar. Nilima is the head of financial services, real estate, and tax at the US-India Business Council, also known as USIBC. Nilima currently leads USIBC's Financial Services Committee. Nilima previously served at the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, also known as FINRA, where she spent over 16 years as a regulator in a number of divisions. Welcome, Nilima. Our next panelist is Shuchita Sonalika. Shuchita is the Director and Head North America at the Confederation of Indian Industry, also known as CII. Shuchita is responsible for managing initiatives that promote India-US and India-Canada economic relations by way of business conferences and programs, two-way trade and investment missions, as well as research and policy-related projects. Welcome, Shuchita. And our last panelist is Anu Chitrapu. Anu Chitrapu is the president of TIE Boston and senior vice president and global procurement executive at Bank of America. Anu was instrumental in creating the TIE Women's Initiative with the mission of inspiring and empowering women leaders. Anu is a passionate social entrepreneur and involved in a leadership role with several nonprofits. Welcome, Anu. I will start with an opening question and request the panelists to keep their response to 2 minutes each. VG, let me start with you. From a CA to teaching at Harvard Business School, could you tell us about how you chose that path and what advice do you have for those in the audience early in their career or looking for a mid to late career refresh? How can a New England chapter play a role here?
Thank you, Dhwani, and thanks for the opportunity to participate and super excited to be part of the inauguration of our New England chapter. From a young age, I've always believed that education is the key to any society's development. I think like trade, foreign direct investment, GDP growth, all that is a consequence of the education and skill level of a society. And it's education at all levels, lawyers, engineers, scientists, chartered accountants, electricians, programmers, plumbers. All this determines how successful a society is going to be and how fast it's going to grow. And apart from this importance, another thing that drew me to this sector is I felt like as a teacher, I can have a multiplier effect through my students. And it's a very rewarding career. Every year, I get to teach through my online programs and in-person programs, thousands of people across the world. So it's like a multiplier impact that's very global. And I found that very attractive. So that's why I chose this as a career path for myself. You asked about advice for mid-career chartered accountants. The first thing I'd like to say is that learning is a lifelong activity. We need to constantly keep investing in our own skill set. And so in that sense, knowledge is an asset, not an expense. And the nature of education is changing so much. It's becoming very modular, very bite-sized. So for mid-career CAs, I would say that they need to invest in like two core areas. One is to constantly upgrade like technical skills and machine learning, artificial intelligence, what have you. But also their softer skills. Maybe the softer skills are probably more important for mid-career chartered accountants. Leadership, negotiations, communications, networking, strategy, marketing yourself. All these are important skills that our mid-career chartered accountant should be investing in. And lastly, you asked about the role of the New England chapter. I think we have the advantage of location. Dartmouth, BC, BU, Northeastern, MIT, Harvard, Brown, Yale. We are in the midst of some of the most outstanding universities in the world right here in our backyard. So our chapter could be the gateway to the whole CA community on developing their skills. And we could jointly develop this with all these great universities in our backyard. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. Lots for our CA colleagues to learn from what you just said. And I absolutely agree. We have a great locational advantage here and lots of academia, lots of academics we can engage with. So look forward to. All right. Neelima.
VG.
Is somebody... So first of all, thank you and congratulations on your inauguration. It's wonderful to see that. I'd like to thank Consul General Jaiswal, Joint Secretary Singhvi, Atul Gupta, Sanjay Agarwal, and of course yourself for allowing us to participate in what I believe is a really critical moment, because you are standing at the cusp of a number of different factors, and you have the skills and the capacity to propel a number of fronts forward in a very dynamic way. USIBC works to deepen the relationship, both at a strategic level as well as at an operational and a business level. And we do so across different sectors with different initiatives and programs. And there are some key opportunities that are happening at this time. And Mark Chokalingam mentioned supply chain logistics. That's an incredible opportunity that's happening right now. And your association as a collective group is really well suited to propel some of these relationships at a broader level forward. I believe that your chartered accountants sit in different positions. You all don't just do tax. You do strategy, you do business development, you do a number of different roles and functions. And I think that if you were able to continue to deepen that, then you have the ability to guide companies to take advantage of the opportunities that the strategic relationship offers for the benefit of not only your own companies, but also the relationship as a whole. I think that there is a tremendous amount in which that by engaging with organizations such as USIBC, you're able to understand where needs are and where opportunities are. And we really look forward to working with you to support your efforts at a company level and at a networking and branding level. Our initiatives are driven by both the companies themselves and what they need, and whether it's tax compliance or policy development, as well as deepening the relationship. And I know we're going to speak to where the opportunities are, but I think with the network that you're building in the New England region, the capacity for growth, and to bring that value of that growth into your individual organizations is very high. And we look forward to seeing how we can support that through the initiatives that we already have, or whether initiatives that you see as important for allowing that relationship to grow. So let me stop there.
Thank you, Nilima. Appreciate you sharing about USIBC's objectives and for the benefit of our members, and also how you see our chapter can engage with your group. Appreciate your remarks. All right, next we have Shishita. So Shishita, my question to you is, you work with CII in Asia, Europe, and now North America. We aspire to build our global chapter network as well. Can you please share how you and CII have interacted with organizations such as the ICAI chapters? Any examples of accomplishments you'd like to share? Shishita, you're on mute. I can't hear you.
Well, we've checked the Zoom bingo today.
Yes.
So first of all, thank you so much for having me here. Let me add in my congratulations to your inauguration for the New England chapter. Sanjay, thanks for inviting me to this to address this panel. I want to acknowledge Joint Secretary Singhvi and Consul General Randhir Jaiswal, and of course the ICAI leadership. Vijay and Anu and Nilima, great to share this platform with you. You know, at the outset, I can't help but really delightfully note that this is a woman majority panel that we're on, talking about, you know, business, policy, innovation, entrepreneurship, being moderated by a woman, opened by a woman. You know, I'm just so excited to see this going with the theme of just having seen the first woman vice president of the US. And you know, as we move from entry level positions to more senior positions, the number of women just keeps reducing, and it's very important to recognize and encourage women leadership. You know, CA is a STEM profession, so certainly all the more. On that note, let me just say that, you know, CII is a membership-led, industry-managed organization. We've played a proactive role in India's development process. We have around 300,000 direct and indirect members, including multinational corporates and small, medium-scale enterprises. We've had an office in North America, in the DC area, since 1995, and we've represented the interests of Indian industry, strengthening India-US, as well as India-Canada economic partnership, you know, by way of delegations, business delegations, conferences, roundtables, educational research, as well as through policy input and research. We've supported Government of India through our embassies and our consulates across the US in campaigns like Make in India, the initiatives that Mahavir Singhvi was mentioning, the Atmanirbhar Bharat and the Make in India initiatives, basically facilitating the access to potential investors from US, from UK, from, you know, across the world for visiting members of Government of India, to enable them to enhance their investments in India and look at India as an investment destination. And, you know, it is really in the spirit of collaboration and facilitation that we work with partner organizations across the US, whether it's a national level or at the state level, organizations like USIBC, like TIE, and of course, you know, moving forward, ICAI. For example, TIE's partnership has been critical for us, especially out in the West Coast, when we've got member companies looking to blaze new trails out in, you know, innovation and startup incubators and accelerators and high-tech collaborations. Nilima and I have worked on, you know, financial services programs. We've hosted defense delegations together. So, you know, there's a lot of scope in really building a stronger collaboration to further US-India trade and investment. And if I may, just a quick example for the New England region. You know, New England region really includes a couple of states that are the top states for Indian investment as well, because, you know, trade and investment is really a two-way street. So states like Massachusetts, we've seen they've received over $870 million in Indian FDI. Likewise, Connecticut is the 14th largest beneficiary of Indian industry-generated employment creation, nearly 2,600 jobs being created from Indian companies. So, with ICAI support, we really hope to see a lot more engagement from New England states that can hopefully top the charts of our own surveys, and as we look together to attract more collaboration between Indian and US businesses. I'm really proud of the engagement that Indian industry has had here in the US, and I hope that you will be able to join us in strengthening our economic ties, but also our people-to-people engagement. Thank you. Now, Dhwani, you're on mute.
Yeah. Sorry, Dhwani, do you want to unmute, please?
There we go. All right. Thanks, Suchita. Those numbers were fascinating. I think our members are going to get a lot more information with engagement with your organization and in terms of learning about access and out to business, global business and industry. So thank you. All right. We have my question for Anu. Anu, you are very passionate about innovation, entrepreneurship, and women empowerment. What guidance do you have for our CA members that would like to engage, support, or step out of the box into those three areas?
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to start with congratulations to the newly formed chapter, and thank you for having me on your panel. To answer your question, the first thing I would say is TiE Boston is here for this new chapter. There are many, many ways I can see where we can support each other. There are a lot of synergies to be explored here. Specifically for this audience, let me start off with those who want to enter into the realm of entrepreneurship. So there is a myth out there, and a lot of people think entrepreneurship means tech startups. And maybe that's just because traditionally the two have been very strongly correlated, but that is not true. Entrepreneurship is much, much broader than just tech startups. So what I would say is for those who want to enter into this world, reach out to TiE Boston. We are here. And not just TiE Boston. For those of you who are not in Boston, TiE Global has 14,000 members, and we are in 14 countries. So just think about that. Whichever country you are in, there is a TiE chapter probably in your city, and if not in your city, very close to you. We have about 25 chapters in India itself, and as we speak, new chapters are forming. So my guidance to entrepreneurs is entrepreneurship is tough. We recognize that. It doesn't have to be lonely. There are many who have walked the path before you. So do reach out for support, and we can teach you best practices. You don't have to go through all the lessons by yourself. You can leverage the lessons that others have learned before you. For those who want to be service providers to startups, what I would say is, it's a service. The service you provide is the fact that you are here in Boston. That tells me that, that's another point where we should collaborate, because our members would really like this support. The reason why you are uniquely positioned to give us the support is because a lot of our members have interests in India. Either, they have offices in India, or they have personal investments and interests. And to have a group that knows both sides, the Indian side and the US side, that is really, really valuable. So you will be providing a very valuable support to us. So as you support startups, you have to be a little flexible in terms of, moving away perhaps from the traditional business models and looking to see what the startups need. Finally, you mentioned women empowerment. So I do want to say, I think Suchita also referred to this. All of us who are here, the women who are on this call today, I think, we have had the good fortune, maybe the privilege to be where we are. And I have every confidence that each one of you is going to be very successful. Now, our role in women empowerment is going to be to pay it forward. So not only do you have to support the women who are asking for your help, but you need to actually seek out the women who probably will not be able to enter into this field without the support. So I'll stop with that.
And that was very insightful. I think what you mentioned, our chartered accountant members who are in the service industry are definitely going to benefit by supporting, members at TIE. Further, CAs that could choose the path of innovation and entrepreneurship, I believe they should also greatly benefit by the resources that TIE has to offer. About women's empowerment, that's another cause I'm passionate about. So I'm sure we'll talk more about this as we go further, build our relationship. All right, I'm going to move on to our second question now. And this is a question for all panelists. We would like to know your point of view on the state of US-India relations and business ties. How do you see them evolving in the next few years? The role of businesses and how can CAs in the United States play a meaningful role? Nilima, can I ask you to get us started on this question?
Thank you. Yeah, I think, as I mentioned earlier, we are at a very critical point with the inauguration of a new...
Nilima, your voice is breaking up.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah. So we are at a new inflection point, at a natural inflection point with the new administration. And I think we have to remember that this is not a relationship that's just starting, but a mature one that has already had very deep inroads into each country, into each market, and has had a number of accomplishments over its historical progression. And I think the point we're now at is to further deepen that relationship and really launch it into a much more productive and long-term engagement. And I think that that's going to be possible both at the strategic level, in the both regional Indo-Pacific sphere, as well as the global market and the global space as well. But I also think there is opportunity to enhance the operational levels as well, whether that's policy engagement, whether that's FDI, whether that is the transfer of investments and engagements by, as Suchita mentioned, Indian companies coming to the US companies continue to go to India and see India as an opportunity for investment, knowledge, skills. I think there at the operational and business level, it is an opportunity to move forward. I do believe there'll be some resets that are likely to happen, and that's a natural thing, but I think these resets will help create an environment for greater investment and engagement. And the only thing I would add is that as these opportunities start to unfold, your organization in working with, whether it's USIBC or CII or others, can help support the deepening of these relationships and the creation of these opportunities.
Absolutely. Shishita, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So I fully agree with what Nilima just mentioned. You know, the US-India overall strategic relationship is going to further deepen. You know, from our perspective, it has been a very strong relationship, going to get even stronger as we kind of, you know, recommit to our shared values and our shared strengths, whether it's democracy and diversity, but more importantly, the vision of this global economic security and prosperity. So we've seen trade between India and the US consistently increase. We've been at the highest peak ever that we've seen, as two-way trade flows have nearly touched 150 billion. Investment between India and the US has been rising as well. The report that I was mentioning earlier, that is CII's Indian Roots American Soil report, And it's a survey-based report which basically found that a sample of just only 150 Indian companies has invested over $22 billion in the US and generated some 125,000 jobs across the US. So coming down from the strategic and the economic level to a more specific agenda to strengthen US-India economic partnership, I would really welcome the support and ideas and inputs from ICAI and the members as we strive towards, industries' objectives in coordinating, whether it's, a pandemic response, both countries working together to tide over this, to removing the trade irritants that we have between our countries, facilitating investment. One of the biggest issues that we have seen has been the tightening of regulations as it relates to high-skilled labor mobility. So, hopefully we're looking forward to a more flexible, more accommodating system that allows global talent flows a lot more easier. And enhancing, our overall business cooperation in sectors like manufacturing and defense and SMEs and in fact, climate change related green technologies. I think there will be a lot more focus from the new administration on that. Geeta ji was mentioning earlier about mutual recognition when it comes to our services sectors, enhancing our academic collaboration. Atul ji was earlier mentioning strengthening in ease of doing business in both US and especially in India. We've seen very strong reforms and steps taken in the right direction. So hopefully we'll continue this along the right trajectory. ICAI and the vocation of chartered accountants really reflects our values of integrity and accountability and building trust and serving as a knowledge base in whether legal matters affecting business. And since you asked for a piece of advice, also going back to the question, and one thing that's followed by many of our thriving members is really to be sure to engage with the local community. So as an example, Indian industry and Indian companies really stepped up to support their local US communities in the US when the pandemic sort of struck in the very beginning. A lot of our companies were able to pivot really quickly and say, for example, auto component manufacturing facilities pivoted and were able to start producing PPEs for frontline workers. They were able to repurpose their factories to produce those protective equipments. A lot of our pharma companies were able to, donate vaccines for more research and drug discovery and getting into clinical trials. There was a lot of collaboration that we saw. We saw our, tech IT companies launching online platforms for education for schools when all of a sudden all the children were not being able to go to school. So how do you keep up with, children's education and such? So, I'm just giving you some examples of how companies have really stepped up to support their local communities in which they engage. And I think that's an important takeaway for ICAI, to look at what is needed in your region and where you might be able to play a stronger role. And, we are always looking for collaborations and input. So we'd be very happy to collaborate with ICAI in any way possible.
Thank you, Shishita. Supporting local community and advancing the community cause is one of our objectives. So absolutely. And we look forward to continuing engagement with CII in the long run. Over to you, Vijay. Your thoughts. Vijay, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Yes,
thank you.
My turn. Okay, I think there's a huge opportunity both from a long-term perspective and a short-term perspective. Long-term, you look at the aging demographics in the US, and US society has a need to deploy its capital and technology in societies where the returns can be higher. And India, I just came back from India and fantastic win against Australia, but I noticed all the advertisements on TV were about educational platforms and IT-enabled education for school kids. So we have this talent pool that's increasing year by year. The capital has to flow to where the talent is. So this partnership is going to be mutually beneficial. Now, it's going to be some short-term irritants. We saw under the previous administration, but I think there's going to be a reset now because it's beneficial to both countries. Taking a more short-term perspective, I would say that the pandemic has created great opportunities, like Suchita just pointed out to us. But once I get behind this Zoom background, no one knows where in the world I am. I've been working for the last 3 weeks, sitting in Chennai. All my colleagues here think I'm in Boston. I actually don't know where they are either. They might be in Vermont or in the Caribbean. This is not a technology change. It's a change in mindset that the pandemic has brought about, that you can be anywhere. So I just wrote my case that I'm going to be teaching in a global program in the Middle East company with research support. The case was mostly written in Mumbai. So we knew this before. This is not something new, but the mindset of what is possible has changed. And this is going to augur very much to India's advantage, I think. So what role can we as CAs play in this? We understand laws in both countries. We understand culture, work practices in both countries. So I think we're uniquely situated to remove frictions so that we can allow for more efficient flow of goods, capital, ideas, all of that. So I'm very optimistic that this can form the basis of a very strong partnership between the US and India. And ultimately, I think we need to think about, business is a role for good in society. If hundreds of millions of people in India are going to be lifted out of poverty, it's going to be because business has created jobs for them. So what we do is not only important, it's also very noble. And we need to hold on to this idea when we formed this chapter to network, but I think the broader purpose of improving the relationship between our adopted homeland and our country of origin and focusing on the economic development and removing poverty from India is going to be the focus for our chapter. And I'm super excited to be part of this journey.
Thank you, Vijay. I think you brought up network with purpose. Totally agree with that. So we look forward to working with you and Harvard Business School in the long term to advance our objective. Okay. Anu?
Okay, I think, my fellow panelists have all said it so eloquently. I'm going to come at this from the angle of entrepreneurship. So I heard the speakers before the panel saying self-reliance, Atmanirbhar is going to be a very important concept, right? To me, self-reliance automatically implies more entrepreneurship. I mean, entrepreneurship is nothing new to Indians in India, but I think now, in order to help the country become more self-reliant, we'll not only need to expand the scope of entrepreneurship to more areas, but also go deeper in the areas where we already are. So if you take tech entrepreneurship, I think we will need to see more tech entrepreneurs in India to support the Indian ecosystem. How can we work with them in this on this journey? I think there are many ways, but one very key pivot here would be, I think, the access to capital. While traditional access to capital models, I'm sure, will be in play, and both countries and organizations in both countries will work together to make it happen. The diaspora is a very important factor here. And in order for all of us to be able to invest and support entrepreneurship in India, I think this newly formed ICAI Boston chapter will actually play a very important role too. So I do see us collaborating more and more from that angle. And, once again, I'll repeat, since entrepreneurship is going to be a very strong enabler for self-reliance, entrepreneurs in India should go out and seek support from established nonprofits in this area that have already, been there, done that. And with that, I'll put in like a last plug for TIE Global. And we should really work together to make this happen.
And I heard you loud here. Entrepreneurship is a huge enabler for Atmanirbhar, our self-reliance. So totally, we will look forward to working with TIE in the long run. All right, this was a very informative discussion. We've covered a number of important topics today, ranging from how our panelists use their professional and personal skills, successful career, and global relationships. We also talked about how our audience members might explore connecting with our panelist organizations. Based on our conversation, it is clear you're all deeply committed to the professional success of communities in the US and India. On behalf of the ICAI New England chapter team, I would like to thank VG, Shichita, Anu, Nilima for taking the time on a Sunday morning to share their experiences with our group. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Over to Divya for the rest of the program.
Thank you, Dhwani, and all the panelists. There was a really interesting panel discussion, and I think we've had lots of comments from the audiences as well. So now on to the last segment of our program today. Our members have been a big supporter of the group during the 6 months journey, and our core objective is to serve them, and we've heard of so many different ways that we can all collaborate. So let's hear our member testimonials in a very short video. So Dhwani, if you could please play the video. Thank you.
Namaste everyone. Congratulations ICAI New England on this historic and grand launch as a chapter. We were set up as a representative office just 6 months ago. We unite under this umbrella as a chapter, and together we are a force. Very soon we hope to be recognized within the US and maybe also globally. Congratulations once again and best wishes to all.
Hi, this is CA Suresh Thandapani from Boston. Congratulations to the Chartered Accountants in the New England area on the inauguration of New England CA chapter. Congratulations to the management committee of the New England CA chapter. Looking forward for fun-filled events, collaborations, and great networking opportunity. Again, congratulations and good luck.
I'm Samidha and I'm a chartered accountant based in Boston. Congratulations to the New England ICAI team for the formation of this chapter. I'm really excited to be a part of this group and I look forward to connecting with you all.
Hello, my name is Deepa Kashyap and I am a co-lead of the Career Guidance Workstream, along with the other co-leads of this workstream and possibly volunteers to be able to help our fellow members in their career, whether it is through events, through webinars, through one-on-one meetings, or picking up a phone call right before their interview by motivation, or just guiding them with resources. Whatever we can do to help them in their career is how I see my role.
Hi, this is Yasmin Thomas, CA 2002 batch and a US CPA. I currently handle international tax for a Massachusetts-based MNC. We relocated to the US after spending close to 2 decades in various leadership positions. That relaunching in a new country seemed to be a Herculean task, but I have been able to adapt and align in this new landscape. How I value the professional network with ICAI? Connecting with like-minded people with similar background has helped me feel encouraging. A good professional network will always is always an avenue for newer opportunities and a reminder to always reassess your qualifications from time to time. I look forward to this group to continue and improve my creative intellect, give and get help and support, and nurture relationships with seasoned and experienced professionals. Good luck.
Good morning, everyone. This is Megha Shah, wishing Team ICAI New England heartiest congratulations for the chapter formation. This is such a proud moment. This is like writing a new chapter in the lives of so many chartered accountants here. The whole thing has been a result of sheer persistence and months of selfless hard work by its core team members, and that gives us so much hope for the great things lying ahead for the future. So yours wishing lots of luck and success for the entire fraternity.
Thank you. So on that note, we would like to conclude the event. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope to see you at future events and wish you
Divyaji,
weekend.
I have a Divyaji,
Yes.
Atul Gupta this side.
Yes.
I have a question with VG. If you have the time of 2 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, sure. VG, if you don't mind hanging around.
Yeah. VG, as you rightly mentioned that all these big universities are there in the backyard of yours, and the New York chapter can play a very, very important role. So in case a chartered accountant wish to pursue the PhD program in HBS, so whether today with the present qualification and all these things, can he do so?
Absolutely. So, I did my CA and then I went to Stanford University to do my PhD. So Harvard is the same thing. You could apply and you can pursue a PhD at the Harvard Business School. Absolutely.
So my only request to New England is that in case we can give a process that, okay, some kind of a documents we can develop because there will be a lot of chartered accountants who will be looking to pursue the PhD program from the Harvard or maybe from the Stanford or any other university. So if you can create some kind of a connect or some kind of a process to follow and the timelines, then it will be a great support to the ICAI fraternity.
Happy to do that. Many chartered accountants already reach out to me from India, and I've been talking to them last 27 years, but we can do it more formally, and it'd be an honor and pleasure to do that.
Yeah, Dhavni, in case you can please coordinate with the VG, and that will be, I believe, that will be opening a new gateway for our colleagues to join the Harvard or maybe some other university.
Absolutely. Let's keep in mind, Atul Gupta ji. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Divya, do you want to?
Yeah, great. So the meeting is now adjourned, and we request the panelists to stay on for a very brief reception. Thank you. Dhwani, I think, we didn't get a chance to hear Padma Shri Manoharan's video. So, maybe as people are still around.
I'm going to share it right now.
Do you also want to thank the attendees?
Yeah, actually we did, Mark. So we did say thank you to everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we're presenting a recorded message by Padma Shri C.A.T.N. Manoharan, former president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, former chairman of Canara Bank, and renowned teacher, guru for CA students. C.A. Manoharan was conferred Indian of the Year Award in 2009 by the CNN, IBN, and Padma Shri Award by the Government of India in 2010 for turning around Satyam Computer Services Limited. So I'm going to just briefly play this message for our members.
Hi. I'm delighted to know that the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is inaugurating its 38th international chapter and the 4th in the United States of America, the New England chapter of ICAI. I had been to Boston 12 years ago, the cradle of liberty, the cradle of modern America, and also known as the Bean Town. It is the best student city in America, and I'm sure all the Indian chartered accountants who will be participating in the activities of the New England chapter will be immensely benefited by exchange of knowledge, thoughts, and wisdom. To the office bearers, to be led by the chairman and vice chairman and others in the committee, I am confident you will have a fulfilling and accomplishing tenure of office. To all of you, let me wish you a very eventful and safe 2021. Wish you all a very bright future and a happy life. Thank you very much.
Right. That was a beautiful message from CA P.N. Manoharan ji. We've all been his students at some point in our, chartered accountant career. So, right. I think I'm going to, let's just transition to the post-event.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. All the non-panelists can disconnect if they like. And thank you for attending. Have a good day.
Okay.